Director of the Missouri National Federation of Independent Business Office Director Brad Jones. Hi, Bradley.
Good morning, Fawn.
How you doing?
What's the burger thing about?
Oh.
Can I vote?
Yes, you can. Go to kzimksim.com and scroll down to what's happening, and you'll see the best burger contest. Click on the link and vote.
I might have to do that.
You need
hungry.
to. Yeah.
I haven't had my breakfast this morning, so yeah, big burgers sounds good.
I know. And I was talking about how do you make your burgers. I have a disease, so I can't have all the fun stuff in my burgers. But if you add a little Worcestershire, a little soy sauce, they get so juicy. So wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and a little pepper.
Yeah, a little salt.
I like a little heat with everything.
Well,
so even my burgers.
Do that. So
I get it.
Yeah, but
I get it.
I love hamburgers. They're one of my favorite things. They're like, what are you hungry for? I'm always hungry for a burger. All right.
That's right.
So
All right.
you are. My God, I have so many pieces of paper in front of me right now. I don't know where to start. But I know you have launched a new state-specific tool to highlight what this benefit deduction could do. This 20%.
Yeah. For small businesses, you need to go to NFIB.com, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty interactive, and you can put in all your numbers, and it will tell you just what a 20% tax increase will mean to you if Congress does not act. And it's pretty cool. We've tested it out, and we've had some some real interesting comments from some small businesses. It's been an extremely effective tool, and they have turned around and sent those numbers over to our buddies over in Congress and said, "Fix it, come on now,
permanently."
So, yeah, let's get this taken care of. So why don't I just start with that, because I've got some cool information for you.
I want some numbers, man. I want numbers.
The big, beautiful bill. Okay. So last week, I got to go to Washington, D.C., to our nation's capital.
Sorry.
And we had some great NFIB members that went with us from Missouri. We had a very nice delegation. And we had a chance. This was pretty cool fun. We had a chance to go over and see Jason Smith in the chairman's office at the Capitol building.
Cool.
It's a real nice office.
It is. I know.
I had not been in there.
He deserves it.
Yeah, and of course he was his usual gracious and wonderful self, and very candid about where he thought, since he had a major hand in writing the big beautiful bill and what's in there. I think, though, for small business people, they don't realize, yes, the 20%, making it permanent, is a huge deal, but they've actually bumped it up to 23%.
Dang.
Which is even better. Mm-hmm. And so in talking with Jason, there's a lot that's in that bill, but I didn't realize, too, this really might be the most significant small business congressional package that we've ever passed, because not only is the 20 to 23% made permanent, but also Section 179 expensive, which is a real big deal if you want to buy a new pizza oven or you want to buy some big equipment for your business. You can expense it, and you can do it right now, and you don't have to do it over 40 years. And so they've raised that from 1.25 to 2.5 million. So that's going to be, from a stimulus standpoint, that's going to be really important for a lot of small businesses. Mm-hmm. The other thing too is the dreaded death tax, which is the stupidest thing on the planet.
Ever.
But anyway, they did raise the limit on it to 15 million for singles and 30 million for joint filers. So they did raise that expense. Huge thing especially for our agriculture community and small businesses that, well, I guess everybody has to die,
Mm-hmm.
So there was a great quote. I think it was either Jim Talent or somebody said, when you're born, you get a certificate. When you're married, you get a license. And when you die, you get a bill.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So in visiting with, and we talked to Eric Burleson. We talked, of course, with Chairman Smith. We talked with Alfred, Senator Schmidt, and Holly's office. But all of them were very very positive about the fact that the bill has gone over to the Senate, but they said, look, we really think that those core small business things, those are not the controversial parts of this bill.
They're not.
Those are the parts that we really feel strongly are going to stay in there. Mm-hmm. So, and that's what the chairman told me too. So, we felt really good. I'll feel really good when it's on the president's desk and they sign it.
Well, you're going to have to hold your breath then, because the Senate changed it and ping-ponged it back to the House. So we'll see.
I know.
We'll see.
We knew that was going to happen too, but there was going to be some discussion. There's no way that the Senate was just going to take the House bill and go, I love it, we're going to pass it. The legislative process doesn't work that way. But those core things for small business, we're pretty excited about that. They're gonna keep those in there. So,
all right. Well, they better hurry up though, because tick-tock.
Well, I know they've put this self-imposed July 4th deadline, and it would be really cool to have it signed on July 4th. But I'll tell you what will not be cool is that they mess around with it, and they're messing with it at the last part of December. That would not be cool at all.
Well, so, that's kind of how fast Washington works sometimes.
I mean, putting that July 4th date on there has definitely amped things up there, out there in Washington. We had a great trip.
I'd like it done by June 30th, though, because fiscal year starts in July, and it would be nice to know where you stand, wouldn't it?
It would. And you know what? That is a beautiful segue into the Small Business Economic Trends Survey for May. Mm-hmm. I've kind of been Johnny Raincloud. It's the small business folks haven't been real happy for the last few months. It ticked up in May, so it was positive in May. And one of those conditions that's in there that we ask about, and I always tell you, I think the most important is the one that says, do you think that economic conditions are going to improve in the next 6 months? That one went way up. It was like a plus 10. And the other one was, do you think your sales are going to improve in the next few months? And that was like plus 11. So the whole SBET, Small Business Economic Trends Survey, was up 3, which is certainly better than the negative dips that we've taken in the last few months. And It should also come as no surprise that we have a new number one as far as concerns, and taxes have moved actually up to number one. And it's been other things. It's been labor, and of course we had the shortages of goods and services and some of that kind of stuff. But taxes, I think right now the small business community is now fully engaged in what's going on with Washington with that 20%. And they're looking down the barrel of the gun going, oh man, this is going to hurt, and we're going to have to figure it out if this actually happens. But the economic impact of that is going to be bad. So let's do that on July 4th. I think would be a great idea. It would be very patriotic to have the president sign that bill, and a lot of this uncertainty, which you and I have talked about. It's the one thing mainly that small business people hate more than all. They want to know, even if it's bad news, at least tell me what's going to happen.
Right.
So, and I think that's really been reflected in the Small Business Economic Trends Survey in the last few months when you got tariff talk and you've just got kind of weird economic ping pong balls going up and down and up and down. They're like, I'm pulling in my horns. I'm not going to do, some of the stuff maybe I wanted to do. I'm going to wait and just kind of see what happens. Mm-hmm. I guarantee you, when he signs that bill, this Small Business Economic Trend Survey, it's going to be real interesting to see what it does.
It'll do a cartwell, I'm pretty sure, because inflation is not going to be a problem. More people are going to have to work because they're getting taken off Medicaid and welfare because they shouldn't be on it in the first place. So we'll have more people to work, and they won't have to worry about being taxed to death.
And that was one thing in the survey that we were kind of pleased that, I've talked about the number of small businesses that have jobs that they can't fill. It's staying kind of steady. It was at 34%, and it has for the last 3 months. It has not spiked way up, and that's good because that takes the inflationary pressure off of small business people to increase their compensation. And when you do that, there's just no way that you're going to get that money, to run your business, other than to raise prices. And so
Right.
it's looking better, as we move into the hot summer months.
Yeah. All right. 1 minute left. What do you want to end with?
Well, we have been in special session up here in Jeff City, and it looks like they came to some accommodation on the stadium stuff, and they actually did that while I was in Washington, so I wasn't watching as closely. But they did get that done, and they'll have veto session in September. I don't know that there's any bills that the governor might veto that they may want to try to override. I don't know if there's some budget issues out there that maybe they want to talk to the administration a little bit more about, but I guess we'll find out.
Yeah, and we'll find out very soon. Brad Jones, director of the Missouri office of the NFIB. If they want to call you or have questions, how do they do that, Brad?
They can go to NFIB.com, and you can read all about the 20%. They can read about everything that's in the big bill, and yes, and contact your member of Congress.
Do it today. Brad, thank you. I'll talk to you next month.
Okay, Fawn, thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.